Welcome to Inside Outboards with your host, Cody Batt.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Big hello to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, what this video is going to be about is basically answering some of my subscribers' questions. I've had several inquiries about different things. I've had a couple people ask me on these Nova type chips, these electronic ignition modules. If you go back and look at my videos, they're titled Scott-McCulloch. There's two of them. I made two videos on that. One about the water pump and just the overall engine itself. And then I installed in one of those videos two of those Nova chips. Actually, they were what I call the Kawasaki ignition module chips. They only have one wire tang instead of two. They have one, and then they ground to the mag plate or block or whatever you're going to ground them to. So I had to source a carburetor for that Scott-McCulloch before I could do anything with it. Well, I did. And in one of those videos, I told you that I did. And then I put it all aside. And then I lost the carburetor. I lost it. I could not find it. Well, I dug around because I've had several inquiries about did it work, did the chips work? Would the engine run on the chips? So I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to answer it right now.
Okay, I soldered the chip to the coil, positive lead, and these coils were in real good shape, which really surprised me. Maybe they were replaced somewhere along the way, I don't know. But here's the one chip all set in there. Let me get a flashlight. Okay, there's the one chip. You can see it. It's in there. That's where I screwed it down. Then I soldered that wire, and you can see right under here is a wire nut. So I soldered it, taped it, and tucked it in there nice and out of the way. So I just finished soldering that one. You can see here's my little piece of solder left. You can see I made a nice solder joint there. And I'll put this wire nut on there and screw it in as good as I can, and then I'll tape it. And then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all buttoned back up. Okay, there's the final chip installation. There's the chip, and I routed, it's grounded right there to where the points would be. I used the original point screw and mounting spot for the points. Then I came up under the coil around over to here where I soldered it, and hopefully you can just barely see the orange of the wire nut there. I soldered the wire nut to the coil wire and then taped it and used the wire nut. Same with this one. And these are what I believe they call the Kawasaki style chips. They don't have two wires, they just have a tab for one wire. And here's the other one. I came up under the coil just like I did over there, and then there's the wire nut and the soldered wire. So that's the whole setup. I did have to move the coils to get all this in there, and so let me get her set up and we'll give her a sparky check. Alright, I got my big Milwaukee 1/2 inch. If you look right down in here, you should be able to see some spark action. Alright, so chips are in, and they seem to be popping good. So I should be able to shoot something in the reeds there, a little tri-flow, and see if this thing won't pop.
Outside, it's snowing, 5 degrees below, wind's blowing. Oh, thinking about it makes me shiver. So I'm inside with my wizard. Oh, outside, way too cold. So I'm inside with an outboard open. Now outside, it's a blizzard. So I'm inside putting module chips in my wizard. 5 degrees down below. Oh, that snow gonna fall, that wind gonna blow. Oh, outside it's just a blizzard. So I'm inside with my wizard. All right, that's right. I'm inside. Oh, I don't want to shiver. Put those module chips in and see if this old wizard can deliver. You understand?
The blizzard came through. This is the second blizzard we've had in about a week. Temperatures running around -3. Yeah, little bit of frost on the pumpkin. Don't you know it in? See the moon? I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So I'm out here with my little ramrod, doing the ramrod. My outboards are almost buried. But here comes my serious plow buddy. Remember the guy I made the little 8-horse for? That's why he gets a free 8-horse. Because he has a plow truck with a sander and gravel, and all I got's a little rammy rod. So he get it done. You understand? Turbo diesel, or whatever that thing is. It's got some weight to it. Saves me a lot of ramrodding. Saves me a lot of ramrodding. Fueling, four-wheel drive, all that weight on the back. Yeah, that's all. That's good. That's good. That gets us parked. That's all I care about. Well, I subbed that out. Put it there. I want to look at this real quick. Partsdirect.com. We got them. Okay, cool. So, and that's a 10-horse. Oh, yeah. So one of the other requests I've been getting is about my tank and lift that I have here for the outboards. I built this tank myself. The tank itself came off a commercial fishing boat. I don't know what it was used for. I'm guessing it was some kind of cover, but it didn't have a bottom on it. So I took it to a place here and had them weld a bottom on it. Then the lift system came off an old steel outboard tank, and it was what they call hydraulic pneumatic. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get seals to seal well on it. I bought brand new seals and put in there and everything, and it wouldn't work. It would, when it decided to, spit some hydraulic fluid out all over the place, and it was messy, and I
I had to run a compressor and blah, 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 all this stuff. So I said, I got to do something different. I ain't cleaning up all this Earl all the time. Understand? Ain't gonna do it. So, got me some square stock, took the lift itself portion off the old metal tank, and some bolts and nuts and things and so forth, and we put it together. And let me come here and I will show you. All right, so up there is nothing but a super winch, 12 volts. I think that one was rated at 2000, but I put a much thicker and heavier cable on it. Yeah, it's a 2,000 pound winch, LT 2000 super winch, and I put a heavier cable on it, which is bolted to the lift portion. Sorry. So it's bolted to that. Then I've got this big square stock steel, and I welded a piece of angle up there to mount the winch to. Here's my controls, just up and down. So this is, for all intensive purposes, is just a pipe within a pipe. So then it has this little leg here that comes down in there. For short shafts, I don't use the leg. I put the whole thing in the tank. So that's how I would do a short shaft. The leg goes behind the keeper there. For a long shaft, that down leg goes into that little triangle hole there. And then I had the welder weld that aluminum foot on this so I could bolt the bottom of the pipe. And it's got 2 bolts. Then I took a big U-bolt, strap bolt, whatever they're called, and put that there to hold the top part. Then I welded the pipe to the square stock there and there. I welded that top part to the pipe. And there's the super winch. And trying to see if you're in there yet. Yeah, it's in there. So that just operates the winch. Now, the battery source. There's the battery, and if you look at it, you can see there's a couple of battery clips on there, terminal clips. 2 red and 2 black. What those do is there's a wire that goes down behind it, right out the door, and I have a 45-watt solar panel. And in the summer, that solar panel alone will keep that battery good and charged. It never loses charge. In the winter time, that's where the other set of clips come in. We get so much darkness that I have a trickle charger.
See it right there with the green light blinking there. That is a trickle charger, and I keep that just plugged in and clipped to the battery during the winter when it's dark most of the time. So that's my power source for the winch. Then I put up there as well, there's a light bolted to the top. It comes down. That's my light there, and I can swivel that around and so forth and point it at different things when I'm working on something in the tank. So, that is my tank set up. I do not know how many gallons it is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a formula. I could probably get on the internet and measure the thing and come up with an approximate gallons. Also, you see the hose with the split Y double valve there. That hose goes down to a nipple that's in that far back corner. So when I go to drain it, I can do it two ways. I can just pull the hose outside and let it drain out in the yard, or to that other part of the Y there on the valves, I can hook up my pump and pump it out. So that is my tank, lift, and so forth. Now, I have other lifting devices. That right out there is called the specialty lift. Let's go play in the snow. It's snowed in right now. I'm not sure that it's got 3 wheels, 1 in the back, 2 on front, and it's got a lever right here, and I can jack a motor up and roll it into my tank lift and just set it right down on the tank, and then I can come up with the tank lift and take the engine right off the specialty lift. And what's neat about this, if you notice, when I pump down, it goes up. When I pull up, it goes up. And then to let it down, I just move that lever all the way down and it'll go down. So it can get real precise. So when you're lining up bolt holes, like this is mainly used to set engines down on boat transoms or take them off of boat transoms. And so when you're trying to line up them transoms holes with your mount holes on your outboard, it makes it real easy because it moves both up and down, and you can get just that little movement that you would want to line up the boat holes. And the biggest engine I've ever had on it was a 75 horsepower. A 75 horsepower, I think it was called a Stinger. Evinrude Stinger, does that sound right? It was white and blue, 75 horsepower, nice motor. All right, now, let's say I want to lift something bigger than 75, the V-blocks, the V4s, V6s, and the like, or just some of the bigger inline 4-strokes. Well, you've already met the Ramrod. That's rated for 650 pounds. I have lifted 250s with it. I've lifted 200 4-strokes with it. And if you look, there's a chain right there on the bucket. And on the bottom of that chain is a hook. And I have several attachments for this. I got a bucket plow. There's my lifting hook. And I've got a straight blade plow that's hydraulically tilted. I can make it go left and right. It has a separate ram in and of it to itself. And when I'm running that blade, I have this auxiliary hydraulic that will run that, make the plow angle. For this lift, made by the specialty company, I'm going to go back to this because I forgot to mention that. This lift, I have 2
other attachments for. I have, instead of these lift from under, I have lift from the top. It's an L-shaped deal with a hook on it. It's in my shed. I have that, and I also have a lower unit lift that you can clamp a lower unit into and work on it and raise it up to the height you need to work on it. It's also in my conics. If and ever it stops snowing, and I can get that out of there. I mean, I could get it out of there now, but I'd have to dig it out. But I'll bring out those other attachments in another video and show you those. But it's made by the Specialty Manufacturing Company in California. I forget where. Very handy to have, and I'll be bringing it inside as well as the ramrod here in the next few weeks, and sand, paint, wire wheel, prime, paint, prime, blah, blah, grease, oil. I do that every winter, so they're good to go when the season comes. But as you can see, the season ain't here. Oh no, the season ain't here. And we're supposed to get another 4 to 6 inches tonight. I guess I need to find my shovel, don't I? Yep. But there it is. I'm gonna get back out of this snow. Okay. That's my tank. Those are most of my lifting devices that I use for moving outboards around. I have a second test tank. It's a lot like this one. It's out back. I have the same thing. I bought at an auction another big steel outboard tank that was pneumatic hydraulic, so I have 2 of these pipes, tubes, and all that. That other one, it's basically the same as this, except for the tank itself is made out of plastic. It's a fishing tote is what it is, a thick insulated fishing tote. Of course it's empty right now because if it had water in it, it would freeze, or I'd have to heat it. Or I'd have to dump antifreeze in it. Yeah, and I don't want to do that. You understand? Now, I have one more lifting thing that I just acquired. But that's going to be another video. And what it is a giant, all-terrain, 4-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. It crabs, it prances, it'll lift 7,000 pounds up to 44 feet with a 30-foot reach. It's out there. It has hydraulic leaks and everything. The engine in it and everything runs fine. It was given to me. Not sure that I should have took it, but I did. And so I'm going to hopefully get that going. And once I get that, I can lift anything I want. I move my house. Because I think when it's all tucked in, dead, when everything's drawn in and stuff, and it's just a straight lift, it does, I think, 12,000 pounds. So, but it's parked over here out of the way, covered with snow in a snowbank right now, and I won't get to it until literally spring, good spring, outdoor weather. So hopefully it'll be a go. And what I might do, because it's so big, and I don't need anything near that big, is I might take it and just get it going and everything and sell it or trade it for a smaller but yet good outdoor forklift. Something a little bigger than a Rammy. So that's my lifting equipment. And so, because I've had quite a few people ask me, you know, I'd like to see more of your tank, how that works and everything. So it's quite simple. The ceiling in here, in my garage here, is 10 feet. And so the lift on that is 8 feet because I had the garage door. So that's my lift. That's how it works. And no more oil going. And now I got oil dripping all everywhere. I don't like that. Nasty.
like that weather. So, thanks for watching. That's going to be a wrap on this one. More vids are coming on Inside Outboard with Kodi Bass.